right, just like we do every single week, this is our 13th town hall of Evmux, and it's just been an amazing journey. Again, we see some familiar faces, some new faces, and we're just extremely excited for what we're going to talk about today. But before we dive in, as always, I always like to go ahead and connect with Alad. Alad, how has your week been?
Great week, man. It's Passover in for the Jewish people
Yep.
tomorrow. So happy Passover, everyone, and I think it's Eastern very soon as well.
Yes, it
So right,
is.
so
That's the
happy
Sunday. Yeah,
Eastern.
this Sunday.
Yeah. I love this time of the year. People get excited.
Yes.
This year we are not with our families because we relocated to the US and they're not
Yeah.
visiting us. So it's going to be a bit of a difference. But yeah, still excited. My son is singing Passover songs all over the place.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of fun this week for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, same. One day you gotta bring him on to the town hall, to give us one of his
One
money
day.
dance.
He learn English first and then.
Yeah, right. And then he'll be able to start managing the town halls. For me, the week has been great. Been creating a lot of content in regards specifically for churches, so I'm extremely excited for that to be releasing here. I think in about another week or so, all the content will be coming out to really help and establish churches to understand like how to ultimately utilize EVMux. We're being creating a lot of short form content, so that's going to be exciting and fun to be able to start releasing that. But overall, the week's been great. Just creating content, continuing to try to help educate others on EVMux and what we can do. But I'm super, super excited for what we're going to talk about today. But before, let's definitely welcome everybody who's here. So we have Shauna, thank you so much for tuning in. Ron from Israel, thank you so much for being here. Darius, welcome. Wolfgang Bolger, thank you. Mark, thank you for being here. Raj, Eric, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Talk. Thanks so much for being here. Really, really excited. Emmanuel from Africa, West Africa. Well, this is a pretty amazing, a lot of new faces, a lot of familiar faces as well. And it's just always a pleasure for us to be able to be here and spend time with you. Something that's so valuable to you, which is your time, you spend it with us and we truly enjoy it. Any opening words from you?
Yeah, as you said, very excited to see the familiar faces and the new faces. Every week is more excited than the other. And this topic of this week is definitely an amazing topic that maybe the
Yes.
town hall we waited for to talk about prosins.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you for everyone that here again. Not take it for granted, and thank you. Hopefully we will get you some knowledge out of today.
Yes. So that's definitely so let's talk about today's topic. So what we're gonna focus on is proceeds. Proceeds has been pretty much the heart and soul of EVMux and the main reason why people see the value in it. It's a easy to use tool that allows you to be able to create robust live streams or recorded content, being able to expand your creativity and design it in the way that you feel, right? Proceeds really was an eye opener for so many people because if you're familiar with OBS, with Vmix, these tools allow you to be able to create very complex and very robust live streams and content. But there is a sense of complexity. There's a sense of technical knowledge that is required to be able to accomplish that goal, especially at the level where most people want their streams to look professional. Well, EVMux kind of bridged that gap, allowing you to give you something extremely robust like OBS and vMix, but simple and easy to use that with just 1 to 2 hours of spending time in the platform, you can pretty much become a master, right? And we're constantly creating tutorials to educate you on it. But ProScenes, as you're going to be able to see here in the video that we're going to get ready to show you, is that you can really create anything that your mind can pretty much think of. And before we show that video, I kind of want to dive in a lot and you share with people why you created ProScenes. Why was this a feature that, we needed to release out of the gate and why it needed to be included in a web-based tool that most people didn't think were possible?
Yeah, so we've been asked this question all the time because this is our uniqueness. The
Right.
ProSins is something that for a web-based tool you don't have, and as you said, the tools that they do have it, those are the tools that they're very complex and not easy to use. Not only that, invite guests and things like that. It's very hard to do on those tools, and sometimes it's not even possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for us, pro scenes was like, for sure, this is what we're going to do. This what the first thing we basically developed Evmux with. We started with pro scenes
Right.
because, again, I'm repeating myself every town hall. We're coming from the event industry, and with event planners, they have requirements that you need pro scenes to fulfill the requirements. Otherwise, you just won't be able to do that, because they want the logo in a specific place and the speakers to be laid out in a specific layout, and so many different requirements according to the brand, that without pro scenes you just cannot do that, and it's unacceptable for them that it won't happen. So it's either you're using the very complex tools that can fulfill the requirements, or you're like, okay, I won't take the job, and not
Right.
taking
Yeah.
the job, it's not an option. So we created Evmux exactly because of that, to be, we always say, the sweet spot between being very robust, allowing you to be unlimited with the capability and how you can build your layout, and at the same time it's still very easy to use.
Right.
It's really easy to use pro scenes. We have templates, you will see it in the video.
Mhm.
I understand some people, it's kind of a learning curve. Like, they start with the
Yeah.
dynamic, simple scenes because they know these things from other tools and they feel more comfortable there. I understand that and I appreciate that. But, just try to
Right.
build a scene in the pro scene. You don't have to go live with it immediately, but try to build it. And, when you go to pro scenes, you never go back. It's
Right. Yeah.
crazy how it makes your life so much easier, unlimited. It looks better, and it's easier to manage when you are live. So
Right.
with that, that's
Yeah.
my 2 cents to begin with.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I always say that everything in the beginning is always going to be challenging, but as you go through the process, it never gets easier. You just become better, right? So you just got to get in there, start utilizing the tool, and you'll see that, wow, I'm not really boxed into a cookie cutter kind of live stream with a cookie cutter kind of layout. I actually can go ahead and modify my stream, even if there's multiple people in your industry doing live streams, doing shows, doing events, doing presentations. You can make it different by just how you lay out your live stream, how you lay out your content, how you do your run of show. And the most powerful thing about it is that you can just get up and go, right? So you can set up your scenes, you can then shut down your computer, open it back up, you're ready to go. So that first time that you spend setting it up is probably the most time you're going to spend ever inside of Evmux, unless you're constantly creating new events, because we just go live. I go into the town hall, we set it up, maybe it takes 10, 15 minutes to make the modifications, add a new video, change some text, change some layouts, and then we're pretty much good to go. Whereas the first time, it may have took me 30, 40 minutes to kind of get everything set up. But with that being said, for anybody who's new here for the first time, what we like to do is that we like to showcase a tutorial of the topic that we're talking today. And then after we show the tutorial, we can then go ahead and start doing some Q&A, answer some questions, showcase some live demos and use cases, and really equip you what you need to be able to take advantage of the pro scene. So with that being said, let's go ahead and run the video.
Let's run the video. 1, 2, 3.
Sometimes keeping it simple with your stream just isn't enough, and you want to get creative with your presentation or your stream. Well, with the Pro Scenes tool inside of Evmux, you can do just that, which allows you to create fully customizable scenes ahead of time using our easy-to-use drag and drop editor. So in today's video, I'm going to take you step by step on how you can take advantage of the Pro Scenes tool to level up your stream. So let's go ahead and dive into my Evmux account so you can see just how easy this really is. So here we are inside of my Evmux account, and what you're looking at right now is the live stream editor inside of Evmux. So what we're going to be working with is going to be the Pro Scenes tool, which is here on the left hand side. Now I've already gone ahead and pre-filled a few scenes to provide some examples, but if we're starting from scratch, what you want to do is you want to select add scene. Once you do that, you're going to see the option to create a scene, and we've already pre-populated a few templates you can use right out of the gate. So you have the option to start with a clean canvas, which that's what we're going to be utilizing. But if you do want to create a break screen, you can do that. If you want to create templates for your speakers or your guests, you can do that. If you want to go ahead and add countdown timers or welcome screens, you can simply do that and utilize the templates that we've provided. But like I said, if you have your own designs, you want to go ahead and start with the empty scene. So we'll click create, And then you'll see here we'll have a clean canvas and the option to go ahead and add additional layers. Now, I want to give you an example of what this experience would actually look like. So if I launch my stream, I'm getting ready to go live, start my presentation, I can go ahead and just switch to one of the pro scenes to start my countdown. So you can see here, I can go ahead and launch the countdown. It's going to go ahead and count down. And then once it does that, I can go ahead and click back over to the stream to go ahead and make an easy and seamless transition. Well, let's say maybe I want to go ahead and now do a presentation, but before that, I want to include my intro. So I can go ahead and click to a new scene and my intro is going to play. So you can just see here that it allows you to be able to kind of enhance the production of your live stream without being able to have to like customize on the while you're live and things of that sort. So now that intro's done, I can go ahead and switch over directly to my presentation, the scene that I created where I'm going over my presentation slides. I can talk to you guys, and then maybe I'm ready to go ahead and have my guests come on and I'm ready to talk to my speakers. So the easiest way to do that is to create a scene, which I've done here. So now my speakers can talk and engage, and you can see here that whoever is managing the stream can easily transition between these without having to make edits or customizations on the fly. And that's the beautiful part about the Pro Scenes tool. So let's go ahead and create a scene ourselves so you can just see what features are available to you. So we'll come back down to the scene that we created, and we'll click add new layer. Now you're gonna see two options here. You're gonna see an option for media and you're gonna see an option for capture. Media is what you're gonna pretty much utilize to add your camera, to add any background images, to add any slideshows or presentations. So the first thing we wanna do is, let's say we wanna go ahead and add my camera on there. So we'll come to speaker, we'll select my name, and then you'll see here my image is here now. Now I have the option to be able to customize this, size it. Maybe I don't want myself to be as big, I want it to be a little bit smaller. So now I can have my camera be on the lower thirds. Okay, now we can go back and now we can say, okay, I want to go ahead and add text. So now I can go ahead and add text and put live demo. Okay, and then now you can see here that you're able to go ahead and change the color to be more on brand. You can go ahead and align it to where you want it to be. So it just gives you the option to be able to customize things to your liking. So we can go ahead and then add another layer. We can then go ahead and add a media file. And let's say I want to go ahead and add a background to this. So you can go ahead and upload by selecting the upload new button here, or you can utilize one of the templates we've already provided for you, or upload your own. So let's say I want to use this background here. Now you can see here that the background is covering my picture, and the reason for that is because we need to go ahead and make sure that everything on the layouts for the layers are organized in the order that you want it displayed. So if I want the background to be all the way in the back, I got to make sure that it's all the way at the bottom. That way it's behind my camera, and everything else that you want to organize in layers, you do it as well. So let's go ahead and customize this. Let's make this bigger so that it looks and fits inside the screen, and you're able to go ahead and customize this, and you can see here just little by little how it's coming together. Now we can go ahead and add another layer, and now you have the option to go ahead and add a slideshow if you did want to. So let's say I have this presentation. Now I can go ahead and size this, put it here, and now literally you can see here just with a click of a button how easy it is for me to go ahead and add items, add features, add graphics to enhance the production, right? So let's say I just wanted to go ahead and add a countdown timer by itself, just as we did in the beginning, right? So in order to do that, you would select add scene. We would go empty scene as well. And then here you can go back, add layer, and then you'll be able to go ahead and add your media file, which would be a video. So you can add that in there, and you'll see here that it'll instantly begin to play. So just like that, you're able to go ahead and create these scenes before your event, before your webinar, before your podcast, to set it up and position everything so that way everything runs as smooth as possible, giving you more features than you had using the simple tool. But however, you still can take advantage of the simple tool by taking advantage of utilizing the banners. So when you take a look here, you can still go ahead and add banners and tickers to these scenes as well. So it just gives you more options, more availability to be able to customize your stream with a simple click of a button. So by now, you should be falling in love with Evmux with just how simple it is to design and produce professional live stream, podcast, webinar, and events. But what if you want to record your content without going live? Well, that's where the next video comes in, where I show you how, without the need of any other tools, you can record directly inside of Evmux. And if you found value in this tutorial and you want to learn more about improving the quality of your live streams using Evmux, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a. All right, so if that video didn't convince you to start utilizing the ProScenes tools, if you haven't already, we actually went ahead and have a poll running right now where I asked is, do you use your ProScenes for your live streams or your recordings? And currently right now we're at yes, 56%, no, not yet, 38%. And 6%, I only use dynamic scenes mainly. So we definitely want to get that really moved over to really utilizing the pro scenes. And we understand that you're not utilizing the pro scenes, maybe because dynamics is all you need and it's more of a simplified kind of live stream. So we completely understand, but we really do believe that people have fear in utilizing the pro scenes because it's can be a little bit intimidating. So this is going to be a great opportunity to be able to go ahead and ask questions. For those of you that said not yet, go ahead and ask your questions. Let us know why. What is stopping you from jumping into utilizing the pro scenes? In that meantime, we're going to go ahead and start talking about some use cases and why pro scenes is a better option than the dynamic, and when is it good to be able to utilize both. So Alana, I'll let you kick off with some use cases and some ideas that you have right now, and then we can go ahead and dive in and showcase some examples of how we utilize pro scenes for the town hall that we're doing right now.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll share my screen, and you can give us the thumb up that you still can hear us. You should be able to hear us, although we are showing full screen. So basically, ProScenes is everything you need. It's crazy what you can do. If I'm on a dynamic scene, so you can add people to the stream, remove them from the stream, and add the branding here and there. But just think about it. When you are live or recording, you need to do things on the fly. I need to add, this is the dynamic scene, right? So I'm adding me and Anthony. Of course, you don't see it live. You see it only on the share screen because this is the preview and the live. But I don't know exactly necessarily where Anthony and Elad will be on the screen. I cannot control much how it looks. I have just different options. It's not very professional. Like, it's okay, right? You can go live that way. It will work. But we think of content creators as creative people that want to evolve. With ProScenes, look how easy this is. I can create an opening scene. That this is the opening slide that you see when we start the town hall. And then I can do a timer countdown. And the timer countdown has the auto switch for the main talking, which is the scene that I created for Anthony and I. Okay, and Anthony and I, exactly how I wanted us to be, which I'm on the left and Anthony on the right. Why? Just because I can replace it, of course, and I can design it differently, but I can do whatever I want with the design and the layout. Okay, and then I created another scene with a large sharing screen, full screen. So now when I moved from Anthony and Elad to a large sharing screen, I simply clicked one button because I created that ahead of time. So basically, you can see that here under my ProScenes, I created the show ahead of time, like the pillars of the show, if you will. So I have the opening slide and then the countdown with auto switch to Anthony and Elad talking, then Elad sharing screen. We have the video that this time we decided that the video will be running before the share screen, so no problem. Anthony wanted to run the video. I ran the video first, no problem. And then back to Anthony and Elad, and then sharing screen, no problem. Like, I can play with it, but it's ready for me. So in one click of a button, I just run to the live feed whatever I want. It's way easier if you think about it. When you are live, it's easier than the dynamic scenes. I understand that before the show, it makes you to work a little bit harder, but it's worth it, right? Because during the show, no room for mistakes, no room for, oh, Anthony is on the right, Elad is in the left, let's switch. I forgot, let's do it full screen, let's whatever. It can be smooth. The transitions are smooth. I know exactly that after this full screen. I can transition to Anthony and Alad, and it will look exactly as I expected it to
Right.
look. And then I have, like in this specific case, I have options for Alad alone and Anthony alone to be able to spotlight
Mhm.
if I want to. And we have closing, which again, Anthony and Alad, and then we have our video, and then the ending slide. Everything is ready for me. So easy
Right.
for me to run this show, and then I can basically focus on the socials and see your comments and be focused on that, on engaging with you, because I'm not
Right.
really frustrated of how the layout looks, because I know that once I click play here, boom, I know exactly how it looks. I created it ahead of time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony, anything you would like
Yeah,
to add?
no, and one of the things that I want to highlight is just that not only is it just for ease of use, we know how important it is to be efficient when you're creating the content, but you saw the two windows that a lot had there, right? And one of them is the preview screen, and the other one is the program screen, meaning that's what the audience is actually seeing. So even though you have the pro scenes that you have set up beforehand, sometimes maybe you want to make a slight adjustment, and you can actually do that, right? So while on the preview screen, you can make edits, you can make customizations, you can slide. Maybe my head is cut off, and you want to maybe extend my screen a little bit more. You can make those adjustments directly on the fly and then transition it over. This not only helps you as an individual, this helps producers that are working remotely. So let's say I'm here presenting just like I am right now. Alad's behind the scene making these edits, right? He's adjusting the screen, making it look, and then when he's ready, he'll hit transition, and then it'll go live, and then the audience will be able to see what is actually happening. When you utilize dynamic scenes, you really can't do that. You're really limited to the layouts that are available for you in the dynamic scene option. So dynamic scenes is a great use case for someone who's just trying to go live immediately, right? I'm really not going to be changing scenes. I'm not going to have a lot of things happening there. I'm not really going to have too many guests. It's just very more simplified. Maybe I want to use it for a team meeting, or I want to use it for just a personal recording. But the pro scenes is what's truly going to allow you to be able to create that customizations. I had a conversation with somebody the other day that was wanted to go ahead and know if they should use dynamic scenes or pro scenes when adding a speaker, right? Well, you can use both, but what's recommended is to go ahead and utilize the pro scenes. Why? How much better will your speaker feel if they come on the screen and you've created a scene specifically for them, branded with their logo, branded with their theme, having them bigger than you are because they're the spotlight? It just gives you more flexibility to be able to create something that's extremely amazing. Look at the edits that Alad was able to make. So it's maybe intimidating initially, but like I said, once you get in there, you're able to create it however you want. And the most important part of it is that you can do it ahead of time. So big example, right? Because I know we have people here that utilize it for churches. So with that, you can sit here and say, hey, this is my service for Sunday. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to create the scenes. I'm going to add the scriptures that I want to pop up on screen. I'm going to add any video that's going to be tied to my message. Any announcements that I want to pop up on screen, I'm going to add them in the banner. And then you set it up. And then when Sunday comes, you just literally hit go live, and now you're ready to go. You can organize them in the order that you want. You can mix and match them. It just, like I said, when we talk about efficiency and eliminating errors as much as possible, the more prepared you are, the more success you're going to have when you're producing that content. We wouldn't be able to have the success we have on the town hall if we weren't prepared. If my computer goes out, we have a scene where Alad can be by himself. Why? Because we understand that sometimes there's things out of our control. We can't control what happens with the weather. We can't control what happens with the internet sometimes. So if you have those scenes ahead of time, you can then keep it smooth to where, for all the audience knows, my camera went out, but Alad understands, switches over, and the show can keep going on. So let's definitely go ahead and take some questions here that we see. One question that I saw here from Emmanuel was, how can I incorporate a Zoom meeting into the scenes? What would be your recommendation there?
Yeah, so Zoom meetings, it's not that we have an integration with Zoom per se, right? So I'm not 100% I understand the request here, but you can share your screen, create a scene with you sharing a screen, and then the screen you share will be the Zoom call. It's not ideal. I don't know exactly the use case and what you try to achieve, but it is possible in a way. But you can use Evmux to do the call, right? Like, because in
Right.
Evmux you can
Yes,
invite
exactly.
the guests and
Mhm.
speakers. They can join Evmux, and then you can basically lay all the speakers out as you want them to be, and then stream it wherever you would like. So
Right.
hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah, and another thing too, to just touch base on that, with Evmux, you can have up to 12 people on screen with you at the same time. So if you're utilizing Zoom because maybe you have a big team, you have a big company, you want multiple people involved, you can be able to do that. Now that's on stage, but for if it's going to be using Zoom to be able to record and present something publicly, if you need more than 12 people on screen for the video you're creating, simply just reach out to us and we can go ahead and tailor a package or tailor a plan for you that allows you to have more people on screen, so that way you can have those kind of meetings. But ultimately, everything that Zoom can produce, that does, Evmux does it as well, with the addition of having the ability to add branded elements, scenes, and transition and things of that sort. So we'd definitely love to get a better understanding of how you're utilizing Zoom and what you want to ultimately achieve with Evmux, to see if we can go ahead and limit the amount of software that you use to be able to accomplish the same goal. So definitely there. Jamie says, "Did you show the instant transition button of each scene? I love that one. Oh, the auto switcher is great, and that is a game changer." Because it's perfect for the one man show, right? Or the one woman show, that is able to go ahead and literally be there and play a video and make sure that there's no error, or you have to be constantly watching the video to finish to be ready and prepared. And while you're sitting backstage, it's not something that we've been able to show, but what truly happens when we play a video and the video's going live and we're backstage, when the video is about 10 seconds about to be done, a countdown timer comes up in backstage saying 10, 9, 8, 7. So that way, when it gets to 1, you know that it's time to go, right? That's why when you see that the video ends, I'm always prepared and ready to go. And I instantly start talking and engaging with you guys again, because I don't need to worry about when the video finishes. So that's the beautiful aspect of the auto switcher there. So I'm really glad that you're enjoying that feature. But
Just adding to what you
yeah.
said, I guess that Jamie, the auto switch is like a game changer, 100%. I guess that Jamie, and you know what? Let me share my screen again.
Oh,
Just
the
a
instant
second.
transition when you click the button. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought we have two transition buttons basically. One transition is here, and that would transition whatever is in here in the preview to the live.
Right.
Okay, this is one transition. Another transition we have, you can call it a shortcut. It's this button per scene. When I'm hovering my mouse over it, I can play the scene from here. Okay, so if I would like to be back to the main
Mhm.
talking, instead of clicking on it, bringing it here, and then transition, I can just do the transition from here.
Right.
Okay, and that's very helpful for producers, simply because anything that can help to make things quicker and more accurate, I think producers really
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's definitely the one that he was talking about. The one directly on the scene that has the play button. Yeah, it's definitely like I said, I think that the more you start getting involved with Evmux, the more you start joining these town halls and you start seeing the things that we're talking about, it's always going to lead to the same thing, right? How can we go ahead and get you to be able to create amazing content in the least amount of, without like strain or like having to overthink things? It's just like everything new is going to be challenging. A lot of people don't like change, right? But once you open up and you adapt to it and you say, wow, I can go ahead and create something pretty amazing here. And the only thing that I'm changing is not my computer, it's not my gear, but only the software. And I'm able to do more. And when you start realizing that, I started using dynamic scenes in the beginning because it was just like, very quick, right? It was just very quick. But then when I really noticed that, I was like, I don't have the customizations ability that I want to do. So I started diving into the pro scenes. I started getting creative with it. What can I create? What elements can I put together to be able to really make a scene and bring it to life? And I've seen some pretty amazing use cases with Evmux on YouTube, people creating content on LinkedIn, doing live streams and utilizing it. And it's pretty insane. So sometimes I say, hey, how did you do that? Right. And sometimes it's what it takes, because I can't have all the answers. A lot can't have all the answers, right? And you guys think differently than I do. So you may think of a solution that's just like, oh, that's a great workaround, or hey, I didn't understand that. You can actually do that. And when you notice that, one of my favorite things with the Pro Scenes is the magic toolbar, and all the customizations you have with each individual element. So what it allows you to do, as we showcase here, every time you create a scene or you're creating a layer, every element has a deeper customization level that goes deeper into it. So if you see here, when a lot hovers over a element, it brings this little toolbar right at the top that allows you to now customize the crop, to be able to go ahead and loop it, to do so many customizations in there. But my favorite of all is when you add a video. Let's say you add a countdown timer video in there, and it's on a black, it's not transparent, right? So the countdown timer is not transparent. Well, a lot would be able to utilize the chroma key feature to be able to remove the background, right? So it's almost like you're able to eliminate the background and change the background to anything that you may like. In most cases, what I do is that, I click it, hit the little teardrop, and then once you hit the little teardrop, you're able to then select whatever color the background is, and whatever color it is, it's going to automatically remove it, allowing you to be able to save the countdown and be able to put any branded background behind it. So once you start getting into the Pro Scenes and you start clicking around and you start seeing, there is a lot of options that you can do. If you put a video into Pro Scenes, you don't have to start the video from the start. You can start the video at a certain sector in the video. Let's say you have a 20-minute video, but what you're talking about today, it's only a 4-minute part of the video. Well, I can go into Evmux, into the Pro Scenes, in the Pro Scenes tool, click on the video and select the video to start at 4 minutes and to end at 5 minutes, right? So it's almost like you're able to crop the video and make clips of it directly inside of Evmux. I can decide to loop it, or I can say, when this video finishes, bring me back to this scene. So you really have to, once you start diving in, then you start realizing that there's tools here available to take you from a one person to multiple people. And it's also great for your producers. I think I've gotten the most comments and the most emails from remote producers on how it's automatically opening up other opportunities for them to be able to work better with their clients. So it's definitely huge. We have a comment here from Mark. That it says here, what video resolution and video codec are used for recordings?
Yeah, okay, great question, Mark. Thank you. So basically, you get, when we record on the cloud, it's full HD. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. No, I thought that I'm frozen.
No, yeah.
So full HD, 1080p. And then we are going to add the local recording very soon, and then local recording will be up to 4K, depends on, of course, on your equipment. So I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, that was good. And
another
then we have
thing to add to that, I think we're going to be the first tool that will basically provide you both the cloud recording on 1080p, and on top of that, the local recording in up to 4K. I think it's amazing because of stability and a backup plan, right? How you say contingency, right? I said it good, right? Contingency plan. Because in case for some reason the cloud has an issue in the recording, so you have the local recording. In case the local recording had any issues with uploading or whatever, because at the end of the day, you are uploading it post-production from the browser of the people, it should be fine. But let's say something happened to their computer, so we don't have the recording, you still have the 1080p recording, which is a very decent quality, right? So we got you covered, and I don't know any other tool that provide that.
Yeah, and it's pretty amazing. We have a question here from Eric. Will the number of fonts be increased, Elad?
All right. So good question. Definitely something on the roadmap. To be honest, not in the top of the roadmap, because we hear here and there people asking for that. So it's there. If it's something very important for you, there is also something that we can do. Again, this is more kind of for enterprises, and it's professional services to make it happen for a specific client. So
Mhm.
feel free to reach out to us if it's something that you really need for a specific project. We're open to hear, and we can do some magic. But
Yeah.
natively within the product, it's something that I don't see it will be in the next month or so, but definitely, hopefully, in the summer.
Yeah, and there'll be plenty of updates on the way. Some here very soon, very very soon. And and soon it can be a very broad word. It can mean so many things, right? But soon, when I say soon, soon, it's soon, soon that it's going to happen for us here. And I love what Cast Enterprises said here. He said the main thing that many of us have to upgrade is to create matter between our ears to realize that it's okay to go in and learn the system, and we aren't going to break it. That is 100% sure. And if you do, a lot in the dev team is going to go ahead and fix it, and jump on board and try to go ahead and alleviate the problem. But it's truly what it is, right? If you think that you can't do it or it's too difficult, you're really losing out an opportunity to really take advantage of the tool and what it really has to offer. Because if you're only utilizing the dynamic scenes, it's very a small use case that I see someone utilizing the dynamic scenes, right? The only way that I would use dynamic scenes is that, let's say that we right now are having this town hall and I don't have a scene set up for a guest. And what I would do is that I would say, okay, hey, Jamie, you want to go ahead and jump on? Here's a link, jump in. And I would go ahead and go to dynamic scenes, because why? It's still going to look good. It's going to make sure that both people that are stalking are proportioned correctly. There's no one box bigger than the other. So that's how I would utilize that, right? It's almost like oh, I'm not expecting this, so this is my fall plan. If I need to share my screen really quickly, but I don't have a scene set up for that, because let's say we didn't plan for a screen to be shared today, and somebody says, hey, can we see the back end of the editor? Okay, great. Boom, we jump into dynamic scenes, share our screen, and we're good to go. But it's not really what I recommend for you to utilize. If you know that you're going to be live streaming, if you know you're going to be creating content, plan ahead. You just plan ahead, create scenes that you may never use, but you never know. So definitely go ahead and take advantage of the pro scenes. And if you struggle or you have any questions, please let me know, because I'm in the process right now of making videos that go deeper. I think the pro scenes video that you saw today, very high overview, right? And now there's certain things that I want to go deeper on, like, let me talk a little bit deeper about layers. How does layers work? How do you utilize them? How do you hide them? How do you stack them, right, to be able to be in the right order? How do you lock them? How do you organize them? How do you reshape them? So there's just a lot that I can go just into layers itself. So if there's something you're struggling with, message me, message us inside the Facebook group, share it, because not only can I be able to jump on a call with you and walk you through it, but I can also add that into a video, knowing that other people may have that same issue. So for
Exactly.
sure.
That's why
For
it's
sure.
so important for us to
Yeah.
get the feedback, because I
Hmm.
always say to people, if you are struggling with something is not clear to you, it's not you, it's probably us not clear enough.
Right.
And it means we need maybe to improve something in the UI UX, or create another tutorial. If
Yeah.
it's not clear to you, it's not clear to many others. So
Right.
your feedback is very helpful. And just to connect to what Anthony said before, for you to try the process and not be afraid of trying. That's exactly
Right.
why Evmux in the free plan has the process. It's not that we say process is only for basic, etc. We want you to try. It's free. Take your time. Once you're ready, of
Right.
course, we would love you to upgrade. But the idea is that you will know the product through and through, okay, thoroughly, before you do make the decision, because we appreciate your money, of course.
Hmm.
Before you do the decision, you make the decision to upgrade in Evmux, we want you to be able to create process, to try to go live. We
Right.
almost don't limit you, we in the pre-plan on purpose. So take advantage of that
Right.
and give us feedback.
Right. Yeah. I think that that's extremely important. And with that, it's just utilizing it. Right. I think that when we think about it and why we offer so much in the free plan was because when we made the decision to really go all in, and really go ahead and disrupt the industry and say, hey, we want to take people, not only people that have been live streaming for several years or creating content already, but someone who's always envisioned having a show, going live, maybe having meetings. We wanted it to be extremely accessible, right? Of course, there's only so much that we can do on our part, and then there's things that you need to do on your part to be able to learn the tool, to take the time to watch the videos, to get educated on what needs to happen. But truly, I mean, having the Powered by Evmux logo just at the top right-hand corner, really doesn't affect too much of your content. Now, I understand the importance of branding, but when you say that that's the only restriction that you truly have in the platform, allowing you to be able to create multiple content. And if you use ProScenes, you can have Evmux logo and your logo, right? So you can utilize both. It's all about understanding that we wanted to bridge the gap of someone who says, I've never live streamed before. I don't know how to get started. I want to start a YouTube channel. I don't know how to make content, and with that, we wanted to say, hey, look, the only thing that we want you to do is to experience what this is like. Maybe you experience Evmux and you're like, okay, well, this is too much. I don't want to live stream no more. That's fine. It didn't cost you anything but your time to be able to experience something that you've been putting off. So I really, really love everyone stepping up, utilizing the platform. So much feedback coming to us. And if you saw last week's town hall, you saw the huge update we made to the dashboard, right? So we're constantly going to be improving the user experience of there, because we understand that when you're confused, it's hard for you to move forward. So if we can simplify things for you, and when I log in, this is what I'm going to see. This is where I go. This is where I can find things. This is how everything's set up. You're going to just fall in love with the platform. But most importantly, you're going to turn around and tell a friend that Evmux has really made it a lot easier for you to be able to create content. So, so it's been amazing. So if you guys don't have any other questions, please feel free to bring them in. But otherwise, if you have any other use cases or ways that, people can take advantage of ProScenes, please do share.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, we have someone in Facebook saying
Perfect.
that tried ProScenes, upload a video of 3 megabytes and it didn't work well. So two things. First of all, the limitation is 2 gigabytes per video, and that's another differentiation from the competition. 2 gigabytes is a lot.
A lot.
And worst case, you have more than 2 gigabytes, you can cut it and then do the auto switch between the videos.
Right.
So I can say you're pretty unlimited here. And then why didn't upload for you? We need you to contact us and we can try. What I can share and say that we support MP4 files and WebM files for videos. So if the format is different, then maybe that's the reason. If the format is one of those, please contact us, reach out to us. Any feedback like that really helpful for us to understand what happened. If it was a user error, so what's not clear enough. If it's a system error, to fix it at once. But for me, like, uploading videos is working amazing in the system, but totally open to hear your experience. So please reach out to us in the Facebook group or personally after the town hall.
Yeah, and the upload speed of the videos is pretty impressive for me. Just seeing how fast you can upload a 5, 7, sometimes even a 10-minute video within 2 to 3 minutes inside the platform, and then it's ready to go. So it's always great. But it's just amazing. I just don't see someone jumping into Evmux and not taking advantage of ProScenes, because that's probably why you came and committed to the platform to begin with, because there's multiple web-based tools that give you the option of dynamic scenes, right? But why Evmux? And it's simply because of that, what you can actually do. You can add music, you can add videos, you can add backgrounds, you can edit while you're live. You have push to talk, which that's a whole nother video that we can talk about, just the communication that you're able to have with users and guests on your stream. So it's definitely amazing. What we have here says from Mark, we say, what are the steps to add a new speaker who hasn't yet joined Evmux?
Yeah, okay. So we have a video about that, but you know what?
Yep.
Let me share my screen quickly and I will be able to show. And I think that would be the last question we take, just to be respectful of everyone's time. And more questions, please ask in the Facebook group. So I'm going to share my screen again. And basically we have two options, right? We have the guests and we have the speakers. So the main difference is to keep things simple. is that with guests, we would like to add them if we use dynamic scenes only. So it's easier that way because you simply copy the URL, share it among all your guests, and that's basically it. Okay, they join to the platform, you see them here, and then under the dynamic scene, you will just hide or add them to the stream. Super, super simple. Okay. Um, One link that you share with among everyone. The other option, if I want speakers for the pro scenes, the best way to do that would be through the dashboard. You go to your speakers, you add a speaker here first. Okay. After you add the speaker, I won't do it now, but after you add the speaker, you go back to your sessions. And then let's take our town hall session as an example. And you assign the speaker for the session. Why? Because remember that you can have multiple sessions and then you can have many different speakers in the same project. So you don't want any speaker to be able to join any session, right? Because if they're not assigned to the session, you don't want them there, not to confuse them and also not to confuse you. Because if you're going back here to a pro scene, let's be in a pro scene that I may want to add a speaker, I would like to be able to add only the relevant speakers that assign to the session. So by mistake, I won't add a speaker that is not even talking in this session. Okay, so that's why you need to do the assignment of the speakers. And then back to the dashboard, I'll go to the speakers. First of all, when you add the speakers, they will get the invitation to the system with a unique link to their email. But let's say they forgot, they don't find it, whatever, you simply go in here and you copy this URL and you can send it in any other communication tool.
Right.
Okay. So again, super, super easy. And that's the way to deal with it.
Yeah.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, that was great. And then if you want it more in depth, step by step on how the process works, just click on the Evmux YouTube channel. And then there is a video that I've created on walking you through how to go ahead and add speakers to your pro scenes and how to add speakers to your session. That way you're able to manage it. And like I said, speakers are more best designed for something that you're thinking ahead, and you being able to utilize speakers over and over again for the whole different sessions, and just being able to go ahead and change between them. And I believe that makes it as easy as possible to understand the difference between a guest and a speaker to be able to have something a little bit more custom. But yeah, that was great.
Yeah, great question. I have those questions about speakers.
Yes.
Let's see what Jamie is saying here.
And the
Yeah,
reusability.
reusability of speakers. Yeah, exactly. So let's again, in Evmux you can do that one session, you repeating using it because everything is set up. This is the way we do the town hall. Or you can create a new project if you would like to create things differently. But let's say that you're using the same session like we do. So Anthony and I using the same URL all the time as speakers. We don't need to you don't need to share the link again or whatever. It's the unique link for these speakers. Boom, they're in the system. Super, super easy. And Jamie says as well. Yeah, okay. Jamie basically said what I said. So
yeah,
thank
right.
you,
Yeah, that's it. Only put in their email.
Jamie
And,
is one of the like great producers that taking advantage of what Evmux has to offer. So Jamie, thank you, appreciate it, and love you very, very much.
Yeah, and just like Cass Enterprises says, the backstage features are amazing as well, and that's something that's also underrated because it's very important to be able to go ahead and communicate with your speakers and your guests that are there freely without interrupting the audience. And just like Cass Enterprise says, sometimes the only other alternative besides having a backstage feature would be get on the phone, have a separate software open on the side, utilizing your earbuds, which it just dampers the experience, right? You want to be able to have a smooth conversation, be able to engage, and then adding the push to talk feature on that also allows you to be able to communicate with the speakers that are on stage without interrupting the live viewing experience, which I think is the most important aspect of it, right? If they're for our, let's say for our live booster, right, where we had multiple event sessions, we had multiple speakers backstage, but only one presenting at the time. Now some maybe not be engaged in the conversation that's happening to the live viewing experience, and they want to take opportunity to network or collaborate with some other speaker backstage. they can do that and feel freely of like, oh, my mic's not muted, or hey, I got, it's, you just have a conversation. Only when you're live do the audience hear what you have to say. So is there any documentation online? Documentation online as far as ways to be able to use Evmux. We have the knowledge base that you'll have access to. We have the Facebook group and we have the YouTube channel as well that all provide tutorials in depth into what's happening inside of Evmux and how you can utilize it for your business, for your brand, for your live streaming. And then later we're bringing out some use case videos where we're going to go sector by sector, how real estate's can use Evmux, how churches are using Evmux, how lawyers are using, how educators are using it, how, musicians are using Evmux, podcasters. We'll start diving into that and start creating those use cases as we start seeing the more demand for it. Right now, churches are asking for the videos. And that's where we're focusing on to produce first when it comes to use case and educating them. So yeah, but definitely there's resources available, Eric, if you want. Pretty sure I'm not sure if I've seen you in the Facebook group or not. If you come by a different name, but join us in the Facebook group. And right when you join, there's a featured post that gives you all the resources that you need regarding Evmux, where to submit feedback, where to learn about certain features, where to see full demos, things of that sort. So definitely just let us know or become a part of the Facebook group. But with that being said, we have final notes.
Yeah.
You kicking me up?
I love this town hall
Yeah.
talking about the pro scenes. One of the
Yeah.
most exciting things we have in Evmux, as we always say. Thank you, everyone, joining.
Yes.
Happy Passover. Happy
Yes.
Eastern.
Happy Easter.
Enjoy with your families. Re-energize. We all need that from time to time, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, we
Huge.
are not stopping. Moving forward.
Perfect.
Fast. Quick to the moon.
Yes. And that's it. And then just for anybody who's here, because I know it's a lot of familiar faces, next week's town hall is going to be on Friday. You don't have to remember it. I'm going to send out an announcement. We'll go ahead and make sure everybody's aware that next week's town hall is going to be on Friday. And we'll just keep kicking along and hope to see more users using Evmux. And we'll just keep going from there. Lad, what do we always say?
Yeah, I'll see you in the next one, right?
We'll see you in the next one.
Next Friday. Remember.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, I'm live. That was easy.